I love Fruits Basket. I don't think that's really a hot take in any way, shape, or form, but because of how much I loved the anime, I decided to check out its sequel, Fruits Basket Another. This series did surprise me quite a bit, honestly, as I heard mixed things about this series, so I went into it not really knowing what I was going to get out of it. But I ended up really loving this series, not as much as the original, but I still really liked it and thought the series was pretty solid. There are definitely some flaws in this series, like the fact that it is too short. That just made it so you couldn't really get invested in the characters as much as the original series, because we didn't get to spend as much time with them as you probably should have. And the plot almost doesn't really exist for a large portion of the series, making it hard to really get invested in this group of characters. But despite the series' flaws, it does have a lot of really good things that I think stand out from a lot of other series that I want to talk about throughout this video. Beginning with the themes this series covers. Like the original Fruits Basket, this series covers some very dark themes, from things like trauma and abuse to even better things like the value of family and friends, and I'm going to talk about them all. Trauma is something that Fruits Basket handled insanely well. All of the characters had believable struggles that shaped the type of people they are in the present, and Fruits Basket Another does the same. The sequel isn't as good at this as the original, but the characters do still have a lot of trauma from their past that makes them very compelling characters. The Soma family is still messed up in a lot of ways even after the original series ended, and this has caused some of the kids in the manga to have to struggle to figure out their purpose in life and what it is they want to do. The main character also has a lot of trauma in life involving her personal life that makes her struggle to open up to people and form a genuine connection with people. This series also tackles abuse fairly well. It is all tied into the trauma these characters are facing. When it comes to the main characters, there are surprisingly quite a few who have suffered from abuse in their childhood. Mostly Sawa though, she has had to deal with a lot from her shitty mother who doesn't actually seem to care about her in any way, shape, or form. She pretty much only cares about going around with her shitty boyfriends, but she still tries to manipulate Sawa into doing things or not doing things, so that way she can be the only person in her life, so that way she can get free money from Sawa even though she's never even really around and has never really done much of anything when it comes to raising Sawa from what I can see. Seeing Sawa break free from her manipulative mother is something that we all love to see. It makes for a really great main character who understands struggles and knows how to empathize with people a lot more. Families are really important, and although you don't get to choose your family, sometimes they can be the most important people for you. Fruits Basket Another explores this concept of family in a very interesting way. Obviously, the Somas are a giant family, so you get to explore how a giant family gets along. We get to see the importance of having caring siblings or parents who want their best for their children despite their past mistakes, or even just how cousins get along with a family of this size. But what I love about this series is that we also get to explore what it is like for an outsider who doesn't even know what family is supposed to be or look like join the family. Seeing that helped me like this series a lot. Friendship is one of the most important things in life. Having a good friend can help you be a better person. They will help you in your darkest moments. Fruits Basket Another puts friendship in the forefront of the lives of the main characters. They help each other out and make sure they are less lonely and are able to enjoy life a lot more. Sawa was in a desperate need for some good friends at the start of the story, as she never really had any for her entire life and was struggling to find her purpose in life. That is when the Somas approached her and made her feel like she was important and welcomed her as a friend and helped her grow into a brighter person and become more confident. Sawa learned the value of having true friends who will stand up for you in their darkest moments, and she passes that on to others as she interacts throughout the rest of the story, showing her true strength as a character. As with the original Fruits Basket, the characters in this series are really well written. It sucks that we didn't get to spend more time with them, as I feel like we could have gotten a really good long-lasting series like we did with Fruits Basket. But besides the fact that we didn't get to spend much time with these characters, so they aren't super developed, I still really like them. Sawa is a great main character. She has a lot of similarities to Toru, however she is also very different in a lot of ways. Her struggles are very different, and the way she handles these situations is also very different. Both of them are very headstrong, which is a good trait to have for a main character. The main Somas for the series, Mutsuki and Hajime, are pretty good characters. Both of them take a lot from their fathers, so you will see similarities to Kyo and Yuki when reading this series, which will certainly be a little boring if you have already read or watched Fruits Basket. But they have their own quirks that make them pretty interesting characters. They have had their share of problems in life that makes them knowledgeable on how to help people. Plus, they have parents who, well, you've already seen their journey. Shiki plays a pretty important role in the story for a lot of reasons. He's the main character of the second half of the story, and he's the only other character besides Sawa who gets a full dedicated backstory and has really any development as a character over the course of the short series. He's not really what you would expect from the child of Shigade, the main antagonist of Fruits Basket. However, learning his backstory, you get to see how he ended up how he did, which is nice. He's also sort of like the love interest to Sawa throughout the story, so they get a lot of time together helping each other out and having a good time around each other more so than they do around others. Overall, I would say that the characters are pretty good, especially more so than the plot, which is lacking thanks to the length of the overall story, but despite the series' flaws, I thought it was quite an enjoyable read even if it wasn't what I was expecting from a Fruits Basket sequel.
適当